All right, let's get right into it. We're about to unpack what's basically a user's manual for your own mind. Now, this isn't about religion in the way you might think. It's really about the mechanics of belief. We're diving into Dr. Joseph Murphy's techniques in prayer therapy and the science of how your deepest thoughts literally build your life. So let me just start with this one question. What if your thoughts weren't just random things buzzing around in your head? What if they were the actual literal blueprints for everything? Your health, your finances, your relationships. And what if you could grab a pencil and change that blueprint anytime you want it? And look, this isn't some new age fad. These ideas we're talking about come from this classic work all the way back in 1954. Dr. Joseph Murphy was, a real pioneer in understanding just how powerful our inner world really is. To really get a grip on this, we have to start with a story that shows you just how high the stakes are. And believe me, they are literally life and death. So get this. Dr. Murphy had a relative who told him about a friend. This guy was healthy, full of life, just a vibrant person. Well, he goes to a fortune teller who gives him this terrifying prediction. You will die at the next new moon. And this man was just consumed by terror. He started telling everyone, I'm dying. He got his affairs in order. And then, on the night of the new moon, he died.
So, did the fortune teller have some kind of spooky, supernatural power? Absolutely not. Dr. Murphy makes it crystal clear. Her words were just words. They were totally powerless. The real cause of death? It was the man's own belief. He took her suggestion, he accepted it, and he made it his truth. And his body, well, it just carried out the order. He was the one who gave the prediction all of its power.
And that right there, that's the pivot point for this whole thing. If one single accepted belief has the power to destroy a perfectly healthy body, just stop and think for a second. What does a constructive, powerful, positive belief have the power to create? Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? What's the mechanism? Well, Dr. Murphy gives us this brilliant, simple metaphor to explain the two parts of your mind and how they work together. I want you to imagine your mind is a giant ship. Your conscious mind, the part you're thinking with right now, that's the captain on the bridge. The captain makes the decisions, reasons things out, and chooses the destination. But your subconscious mind, that's the massive, powerful crew down in the engine room. And here's the thing about the crew. They don't ask questions. They don't care if the captain sets a course for a beautiful tropical island or straight into a field of icebergs. They just take the orders and work 24/7 to get the ship there. And this perfectly lays out the fundamental law of your mind. Your subconscious, your crew, doesn't argue. It doesn't care if an idea is good for you or bad for you, true or false. It just takes whatever the captain, your conscious mind, accepts as true, and it works tirelessly to make it your reality. It's a powerful impersonal law, kind of like gravity. So, knowing the law is one thing, but how do you actually use it? How do you, as the captain, start giving better orders? This is where it gets practical. Dr. Murphy lays out some very specific, actionable techniques. Let's dig into 3 of the big ones. All right, technique number 1 is probably the one you've heard about in some form, but the details are what give it its real power. It's called the mental movie method, and it's all about turning your imagination into the director's chair for your own life. Now, this is not just daydreaming, okay? It's a structured process. First, you get into a quiet, sleepy, relaxed state. Then you play a short mental movie. But here's the key. You only play the final scene, the happy ending. You don't worry about the how. You see your daughter's face light up with pride. You feel the solid handshake that closes the deal. You hear the doctor's voice on the phone giving you the all clear. The most important part is to feel the reality of it as if it's happening right now. Once you have that feeling, you just let it go. You release it and you trust the crew in the engine room to figure out the voyage. But what happens when you have a negative belief that's just really stuck? You can't just slap a happy picture over it. It won't work. That's where this next technique is so powerful. You don't ignore the negative belief. You take it to court. Yeah, think of it like holding a trial inside your own head. You are the lawyer for the defense. The prosecution is the false belief. I am sick, I'll never have enough money, I'm afraid. And you systematically argue against it. You present evidence for the real truth. The infinite intelligence that made my body knows how to heal it. There is an infinite source of supply all around me. You build your case, point by point, until your conscious mind reaches a verdict, a final judgment in favor of health or abundance or peace. And that final verdict is the new order you pass down to your subconscious. Okay, this final technique we're gonna look at is the most direct. It's the most authoritative. It doesn't use pictures or arguments. It uses pure conviction. Dr. Murphy actually pulls this powerful line from the book of Job. To decree something is to declare it as an established fact. There's no begging, no hoping, no wishing. You simply state with authority, I decree I am healed. It is done. The power here comes from the feeling of absolute certainty behind the words. When you know that the same power that created the universe is backing your word, your conviction becomes unshakable, and that decree becomes your reality. Now listen up, because this next part is where almost everyone gets it wrong. They learn these techniques, they try so hard, they grit their teeth and use all their willpower, and they end up with the exact opposite of what they want. Why? Because of a fascinating and critical law of the mind. The book gives this perfect analogy. Imagine a wooden plank on the floor. Could you walk across it? Of course. Easy. Now, take that exact same plank and place it between two buildings, 20 feet up in the air. Your willpower is screaming, walk, just walk across. But your imagination, it's playing a very vivid movie of you falling. So which one wins? Your imagination. Every single time. Your effort to walk is completely reversed by the dominant idea, which is the fear of falling. And that right there is the law of reversed effort. Trying to force your subconscious with willpower is like standing on the bridge of the ship screaming, go to the Paradise Island, while handing the crew a detailed map of the iceberg field. Guess what? They're gonna follow the map, not the shouting. You have to change the dominant idea, the map, not just apply more force. So how do we tie all this together? These aren't just parlor tricks you do once in a while. Dr. Murphy frames this whole thing as a continuous, lifelong practice. And he uses one final, beautiful metaphor to explain it. Think of your mind as a garden, and every single thought you have, whether you're aware of it or not, is a seed you're planting in the rich, fertile soil of your subconscious. Now, you can just let that garden go wild, let the weeds of fear and resentment and lack take over, or you can decide to become the master gardener of your own soul. You can consciously choose to plant seeds of health and joy and abundance, and you can diligently pull up those negative weeds before they ever get a chance to take. And this really leaves us with a final, powerful idea from Dr. Murphy that reframes everything. This isn't about wishing on a star. It's about claiming your own authority. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the captain of the ship. You are the master gardener. You are the ruler of your inner world. So the only question left is, what seeds are you going to plant today?